Hey guys, PepperAmmy here. With Chinese New Year just around the corner, it's time to make one of my personal must-have Chinese takeaway items, and that is sweet and sour chicken balls with egg fried rice. Now you want to start by preparing the batter. For this you want to combine 125 grams or 1 cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then give that a good mix to combine. And then using a measuring jug, measure out 160 mils or 2/3 of a cup of milk and 2 eggs, and then whisk to break the yolks and combine. Then add the wet to the dry and mix into a smooth paste. And then set to one side whilst you heat enough oil in a deep-sided pan. Now, being the smart, well-prepared shopper I am, I completely forgot to buy any extra oil, so I had to use a smaller saucepan than I first anticipated, and I had to fill it with what we had left at home, which was just under a litre, which is completely fine. It just means that I had to make more smaller batches. Now you want enough oil so whilst the chicken is frying, it doesn't touch the bottom. And you want to heat that to around 170 degrees Celsius or 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Now whilst the oil is heating, you can slice your chicken. Now you can either use breast or, like me, you can use tenders. Now you can just half the tenders, or you could even probably use whole tenders. It would just take a little bit longer to cook. And if you're using breast, you just want to dice them into roughly 3cm cubes. Now I am rocking the small pan, so I am of course halving my tenders. And once the oil is up to temperature, dip your chicken in the batter and carefully lower it into the oil. Now if hot oil does indeed scare you like it does scare me, you can always use something to hold your chicken whilst lowering it into the oil. But you may end up with loose floating batter bits, but you can just simply scoop those out. Now you want to fry your chicken until it is golden brown on the outside, and if you have a probe style thermometer, you want the internal thickest part of your chicken to read at 78 degrees Celsius or 175 Fahrenheit. Now you only really do need to probe the largest piece of chicken, so you don't need to make holes in every piece you are frying. Now between your batches you can start on the sauce. For this, combine 240 ml or 1 cup of orange juice, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of tomato puree, 1 tablespoon of ketchup, and 3 tablespoons of white vinegar. Now I suggest using something like a white wine vinegar just for a bit of extra flavour over standard ordinary white vinegar. And then you want to bring this to a boil. Now this does contain vinegar, as I just said, and this will get down your throat. So you may want to use your extractor fan if you have one over your cooker. Then you want to add in 3 tablespoons of corn flour. It may actually be easier to dissolve the corn flour in some orange juice first to avoid lumps. And then you just want to give this a good mix and allow the sauce to thicken, and then set to one side to cool slightly. Now you should slowly be running out of chicken to fry, so at this time it's time to break out the wok and get the egg fried rice going. Now the best way to make egg fried rice is of course to use old pre-cooked rice. By old I mean, either last night or this morning's, not like, 3-week old, unless it's been frozen. Now egg fried rice is a great way to use any leftover rice you may have and leftover vegetables. But if you don't have any spare leftover rice in the fridge, just cook some up in the morning before and chill until you are ready to use. And start by heating your wok or frying pan with some oil or butter, and then once up to temperature, start by frying your vegetables. Now personally I just use some mixed vegetables, including some sliced peppers, onions, sweet corn, and then add your rice and heat through. Now finally, make a well in the middle of your vegetable rice, I guess. And then crack in an egg or 2 in the middle and give a scramble. Now how much you scramble and how long you scramble for is going to change the texture of your rice. Now the longer you leave it before mixing in, the larger chunks of egg you're going to have. And the sooner you mix it into the rice, the more egg will coat the rice instead of being nice and chunky. Now, how you have it is completely up to you. Then just finish cooking the rice, and you can even feel free to give the pan a good flick just to make you feel like you're professional and you've been doing this for years and it's not like your third or fourth time making egg fried rice. Now, if you've timed this well, by the time your rice is done, the last batch of chicken should have just finished and be coming out of the oil and be ready to serve. And there you have it, one of my personal favourite takeaway meals. Now, if you really want to, you can give your egg fried rice a sprinkling over with a bit of MSG. That's what I personally did. It gave it a little bit extra umami flavouring, and that's what everyone says to do. And if you are worried about MSG because of what you've heard on the news and everything, most food you actually eat will contain a level of MSG, especially stuff like crisps, as MSG is basically just a flavouring to make crisps taste better, which is why you want to keep on eating them. And there you have it, one of my personal favourite takeaway meals. Now, as always, if you guys did enjoy, let me know down below with a like and a comment. If you are new here, feel free to subscribe, and if you have, let me know down below. I like to welcome every one of my new subscribers. You will be rewarded with free weekly cooking content. And I will see you all again next week. Thanks for watching.